But I was ecstatic this week. Ecstatic. Because my Bolt just got better. My Chevy Bolt EV that we've had since the spring, it got
Yeah.
better. And Bolts don't usually get better, Brian. The only way they get better is a massive battery recall, and then you get a new battery if you've owned it for 5 years, and that's pretty cool. It's not cool having only your battery restricted to 80% for 3 years, like some people are. But yeah, that's cool. It's plug and charge, so
Yeah.
I could not believe. I was looking through an American Facebook page of the Bolt, and because that shows up in my Facebook feed a lot, and I learn a lot of what's going on. I learn some of the bad things too, but I noticed somebody unrelated posted a picture of their app, and it showed the Canadian Flow Network. Brian and I are in Canada, if you're new to the show, and we don't have a lot of options. There's been plug and charge for the Bolt in the States for a while, for a couple of networks. EVgo is one. I think ChargePoint is another. We don't really have charge points where we are. We kind of have some level twos in BC, I noticed. Not too many level threes there. So I I went I didn't have to set anything up. All I had to do was say activate in my app, my Chevy app, and then it takes me to the Flow page, which is the network in Canada. It's also in the States, but it's mostly in Canada right now, and it's the one I love because it works the most and it's simple, and
Mhm.
I've talked to them on the phone a few times. And I just entered my information, username and password, and bada bing, bada boom, it knew my VIN number. And by knowing my VIN number, which I couldn't believe it did from previous charging.
Yeah.
You often don't think about what's going back and forth on non-Tesla vehicles, but it actually did have my VIN number. So all I had to do is that, and it worked. Like I went to the local dealership and plugged it in, and it worked. And then I
Yeah.
went to another one and plugged it in, and it worked. Because I'm thinking back to the tension I had during my trip to the West Coast last summer, and I was always like, what should I do? Should I plug it in first? Do I swipe first? Do I use the app? Do I use a credit card? What do I use
Yeah.
my little RFID card that they gave me for Flow? What's the best way to do this? And it's just like Tesla now. You just plug it in. Now it's a 42-second wait or 39-second on one of my trials, but
Mhm.
that's a little slower than what I understand Teslas do. But it only took 9 seconds to identify and approve the car. The rest is a handshake, so it might be
Yeah.
the way the Bolt is for finding out what charge it's going to accept.
And presumably you had to put in a credit card or something too?
Well, I already had one on my Flow account because
Right. So it's because it's through Flow. Yeah.
so I think it's set up to renew $20 at a time. So if I use all my money, then it says, okay, we've charged your account $20 for that much more, and so
Yeah.
I get emails, and I know how much electricity I've used and things like that.
Yeah, I've noticed the handshake is a little quicker on the Tesla version 3 superchargers. Like it's only like 5 or 10 seconds. And now the version 2s, it's a little bit longer, like maybe 20 seconds or something. But either way, it's both pretty seamless. And now as long as you're using a Flow charger, it sounds like you've got that too.
Yeah, there's lots of Flow chargers around, and it's one less thing to go wrong too, because a lot of the times when people say the chargers aren't working, it's the payment system that's not working.
Yeah.
So if they can just, you know, flawlessly read your car, you still got to stick around for 40 seconds. You can't walk off to the restaurant because you,
Yeah.
you want to make sure it's working. I mean, you can check your app, but you want to make sure it's working and plug it right back in again if it weren't, because that would be a major time consumer.
Yeah, see, I think because the Tesla ones can be so quick, 5 or 10 seconds, they must not check the credit card until later. And we did have a problem one time when our credit card had expired, but it wasn't kind of until the next charging stop that it showed itself. So I think it let us do the first one because it does the handshake in 5 or 10 seconds. So yeah, there's not enough time to check your credit card. So it just waited till we did our next stop to tell us, something was wrong.
All right. Well, that's happy news for me. And what's next, Brian? My dream is that Chevy will send me a Tesla adapter in the mail for free, like Ford is doing for its customers.
Yeah,
But they won't. They're going to
that
charge
would be
money.
amazing.
I'm not going to buy it, but it would be pretty cool.